Here today in the USS Montpelier, which is essentially just a premium version of a Cleveland. She differs from the tech tree counterpart in that she has a slightly longer reload at 7 seconds compared to 6.5. In exchange, she's slightly more accurate and has something like 150 or 200 more hit points, but essentially the same bloody ship. The tier 8 Cleveland, in terms of top tier, is pretty dangerous. It's a US light cruiser, so it does require IFHE, but once you get IFHE, her as a skill, her HE tends to give you good consistent penetration damage over a wide variety of targets. As a USN light cruiser, she has kind of lazy high shell arcs, so she does prefer to fight at mid-range even though she has 15.6 kilometers of range. You probably want to do your fighting at 12 kilometers and under. Shells are slow, they arc high, and this means that you can use islands as cover. And so she does tend to do a lot of island hiding. Given the compositions of the teams and the deployments, it looks like the enemy team is deploying to BC, so I'm just going to scoot into A and see if I can capture it quickly before I proceed into the rest of the match. Normally on this map I like to kind of hide at this position, but we'll see what the game state is like. So Dunkirk shows up, and so the Dunkirk has 12-inch rifles, so that is, I believe, 340s, 330s, something in that range. Anyhow, you need 380s to punch through, or greater to punch through the 25mm plating found on the Montpelier and Cleveland, so I can bounce his shells with impunity. However, the Nagato beside him, which also just popped up at range, has 16-inch shells, that is, in this case 410s, but also 406s are another 16.1s I guess you could say. So I do need to be careful about the Nagato over there, because the Nagato overmatches me all over. So you can see here I'm getting into cover. It should hopefully protect me from the Dunkirk, looking for fire. Got a fire there. Now I'm going to start working on the Nagato, which is the actual key threat to me. Oh, someone's dive bombing me. That is annoying. So the EP dive bombs the Shokaku there, punishing me for sitting still. Hopefully I can get some more planes from him. Doesn't look like it. He's detaching, just bombing the water to get out of there. So he's using that slingshot technique to get his planes outside of A air wars. Which is annoying, admittedly. But it happens. Good punish, I guess. So I got a fire on the Nagato and he put it out. Oh, it's time to punish him with more fires. So even as this Dunkirk rounds the corner, as long as I stay angled, I'll be all good. Against his AP anyway. So I'm angling my bow even as I keep shooting this Nagato. Front guns only now, but that's fine. Safety is more important than damage. Just double fire. Now I'm gonna concentrate on eliminating this Dunkirk, because he's too close to me. And I want to be able to bring all my rifles to bear. Oh gosh, what is this? So there's a Shiratsuyu beside me for some reason. I'm gonna ignore the Dunkirk for now. I know I can angle, as I just said, against him. So I'm just gonna pound him out of existence. It might be a reload booster. It's either slow, lazy shells. I really don't know what he's doing. But I don't really care. He's dead. Turn my rifles. Cleveland turrets turn pretty well. Not fantastic, not exactly American destroyer turrets, but they're not awful. Here, just slamming my HE into this Dunkirk. Nagato's on the run. Now I can finally take the cap. Planes inbound. Shokaku torpedo bombers, I don't want anything to do with that. There's North Carolina here. Okay, that's problematic. North Carolina has 406s, which also similarly punch through my shells. Or punch through my hull. Set a fire. Pop my defensive A bit early. Shokaku responded by moving out of my A aura, but that's fine. doesn't appear to be looking at me. He put out the fire, so I'm gonna keep HE pressure on him. He is pretty broadside. If I was a heavy cruiser of some sort, I might consider switching to AP to look to punish. But the American 6-inch shells are pretty light and they have a lot of air drag, which means at range, the AP isn't exactly impressive. I probably wouldn't use the AP on any cruiser targets at anything under or over 10 kilometers. The good handling of the Cleveland coming up here. Her decent rudder shift allowing me to dodge those torpedoes quite quickly. As I was angling away from North Carolina. Managed to secure the cap. Nice solo cap for myself. He's at the edge of my range now though, so it's getting a bit difficult to land these shots. To give quite a bit of lead, and as he's moving away, it's becoming increasingly difficult to land those shells. He has a permanent fire burning though, so either the fire or flood I think he has will kill. Unless these BB shells KS me. Oh, well, it is what it is. People do that. No point crying over spilled milk. He's dead. That's what matters. So time to move away now. Just keeping my A sectored properly. Shokaku AP dive bombers. I don't want anything to do with that. Some H-fire spraying me, but that's fine. It's just one fire. Enemy carrier pulling away. Both of them are kind of close to here and their bows are facing here, so it's going to take them a while to turn around. So just continuing to steam forward. The Cleveland class does a good 33 knots. Shokaku hoping maybe to bait defensive fire with its rockets. Not sure if I should sector differently. It's kind of too late now. He's already in my firing range. I'm gonna turn my guns for the CNOP. So the CNOP's pretty heavily armored. His bow is still 25 millimeters, like all tier 7 battleships, but his middle deck is pretty thickly armored. I think it's something like 40 millimeters. I haven't actually checked because I don't happen to have a CNOP on hand right now. But I suspect his middle deck is going to shatter a lot of my shells. That was either a turret or maybe his middle deck, depending on how thickly it's armored. I'm not sure. Okay, it looks like his middle deck is thicker than 32 millimeters, which is about the limit of what American 152s can pen with IFHE. Okay, I'm gonna sector for the AB dive bombers. I don't care about anything else, really. Giving full broadside to the CNOP, but he's not looking at me, so I can afford to do this. Continuing to hammer him. No longer in range. Chasing both the Ranger and the Shokaku, who's in range now. Interesting. He is running. Okay, AP dive bombers coming in. Looks like for me. Well, I'm not interested in that. So when against AP dive bombers, just gonna give as much broadside as possible. Trying to minimize my target. It's a nice long ellipse as a targeting reticle. After just shredded all of them. He's coming back with the torpedo bombers. That's fine. Turning my guns for him. And Sims appears to be harassing them. That is the carriers. So he has their attention. You can see at range here, because of how slow my shells are, I'm not really able to catch up to the 33 knot carriers. I might actually have to leave them. The only reason I'm still shooting at them is because I'm not in range to really shoot anything else right now anyway. So even my like 1 or 2 shells here is contributing a little bit. Normally, I would not recommend chasing after carriers like that in a destroyer, by the way. Tends not to produce the desired result, you kind of just waste your time usually. This guy's a bit lucky in that the carriers didn't realize they were being chased. for a bit, and the rest of the team kind of, what's it called, did his job for him. So I'm gonna pop my radar here. Oh, okay, so CNUP has 4 seconds, so this is gonna hurt. Ouch. Alright then. Respectable. Guy there kind of showing off the squishiness. So probably needs to respect the scene up a little more.